What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaleesa if you are new here. And as I have stated in some of my recent videos, we are on the cusp and the brink of peak PCS season. Now, if you are not a part of the military community, PCS is permanent change of station, and it essentially means, hey, you're moving. That is what it means. The military is moving you. You are going somewhere else for the next 2 to 3 to 4, how many years, and that's gonna be your new home. And the peak PCS season is typically summertime. And so we are knocking on the door of peak PCS season. And for any of the spousies who are on their way out here to Naples, Italy, I wanted to kind of share with you all some things to do in Naples, especially when you first get here. However, even if you're not a military spouse about to PCS here to Naples, this video is definitely going to be helpful to you all, because if you're only going to be here for a couple hours to a few days, you definitely want to make sure you hit the hot spots in Naples, Italy. So let's jump into it. Number one, first things first, you got to go downtown. You can't come to Naples and not explore downtown. There are a lot of things to do downtown. There is a historical castle. We went to that when we first got our car and was able to get off the base. If you do not know, the birthplace of pizza is Naples. So the first pizzeria in the world, y'all, not just, Italy, but the world, is located downtown Naples, Italy. So if you are someone who's a pizza fanatic, or maybe you're not, but you definitely want to go to the first ever pizzeria, you got to check that out. I will say I have not gone there. I tried going there and it was stupid packed. Stupid packed. Everybody and their mama goes to that pizzeria. So my recommendation, if you are planning on going to that pizzeria, get there before they open and stand in line, because it's going to be packed. Some other things, there's really nice cafes downtown. Christmas Alley, which is really popular. Even if you're coming here in the summertime, Christmas Alley is still Christmas Alley. We went to the Naples Theater. Beautiful, so beautiful. The inside is super breathtaking, so I would recommend that. The Piazza, the Neapolitan Palace, again, I don't have all the historical details, but we visited the palace. That was beautiful as well. There's just so much to explore and get into downtown. So my personal recommendation, when you first get here, especially if you're moving here, I think off rip, you have to go downtown. Something else you can do when you first get here to Italy is you can go downtown, catch a ferry, and go to the Amalfi Coast. Now, I will be completely honest with you all. When we got orders and stationed in Naples, I did not know how close Naples is to the Amalfi Coast. My social media algorithm definitely pushes and pumps a lot of travel content to me, because I just love traveling, and I am always seeing videos and pictures and reels that are, Amalfi Coast, Sorrento, Passianto, Capri. I'm seeing all of those things, and it was a, oh my gosh, a wow moment to think that, I'm just a 30-minute ferry ride from these places that people, save up all year to go to. It's on people's bucket travel list, and I live 30 minutes is a 30-minute ferry ride from downtown Naples to the Amalfi Coast. So I would highly recommend, you have to go to the Amalfi Coast. So I'm super excited to go back to the Amalfi Coast once we get into that May, June time frame. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to go during peak tourist season. I like to people watch and see all the tourists, and I like to be out with everybody else. You can get to some of these cities off the Amalfi Coast by train, and you can also drive. If you are moving here, you can drive. Now, if you're coming to visit, then it's probably advantageous of you to just hop on the ferry and go independently. If you're going on a cruise, you don't want to risk missing your cruise ship. So I would talk to somebody on the ship to see if there's some excursions. But if not, again, you can hop on the ferry downtown and it'll take you to, you know, the major stops off the Amalfi Coast. Now, if you're looking to still stay in the city and you're not really necessarily rushing to go out of town, go to the mall. Go to the malls, y'all. The malls out here are on a different level than what they are if you're coming from the States. If you are like me and you are a 90s baby, or maybe you're not a 90s baby, but you remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, that mall culture, I can say for one, I miss mall culture. I so miss mall culture, especially back when I was in college, you know, going to the club for the night. And you know what, before we go to the club, we gotta go to the mall, get us an outfit, then maybe, you know, have Auntie Anne's pretzel or have a little snack in the food court, then go back to the room and start getting prepared. I miss mall culture. It is not a thing back home in the States anymore, but it's still a thing out here in Italy. And I'm telling you, any day that you go to the mall, it's gonna be packed. Like, I have gone to the mall after work on like a Wednesday and it's still a lot of people in the mall. Like, the locals here love the mall, and they actually have a really, really nice mall out here. I have done a whole video on just shopping out here, and I did include some footage of shopping in the mall, so check that out after you watch this video. Outside of the Campania Mall, that's the nicer mall, they also have like more smaller malls. They're not as nice as Campania, but they're still nice. And again, they're still busy and packed. Mall culture here is still a thing, and I love it. I love it. And they just have great things. Like, and I will tell you, as someone who prior to coming here, I wasn't the biggest like lover of shopping. I wasn't a big shopper. When you come here and go to the malls, you are gonna wanna shop. You're gonna wanna shop and upgrade your wardrobe just being around the locals, because the locals dress nice. Now, this next point I personally have not done, but I have seen in some of the military spouse groups, and I have talked to some spouses who have done it themselves. Especially with the work restrictions out here, a lot of spouses will do cooking classes. There are some local vendors that they will host cooking classes, and they'll teach you how to make certain traditional Italian meals. Of course, if you go on like Get Your Guide, or if you go on TripAdvisors, you can kind of see more of the, for lack of a better term, mainstream or touristy ones. But I have spoken to other military spouses who regularly take cooking classes, and I think it's just like a more smaller local, you know, vendor that teaches, you know, spouses and other people how to cook, and they'll do it for fun. Again, I haven't personally done one myself. It's something that I've definitely been interested in, and I actually may consider doing it once, you know, Parker turns 3. That'll be a cool like mommy and me thing to do. But I have spoken to other people who have done it and they thoroughly enjoyed it. So y'all, how can you come to Italy and not try wine? Of course, there are local wineries here that you can go to in Naples, Italy, and I would highly recommend it. Oh my gosh, the wineries are so good. I have only gone to 2 since we have moved out here, and I think they're two of the bigger ones. One of them is, I think, is really like a popular tourist one, but if you go to this one, you will know why, because the view is absolutely beautiful. It's right on like Mount Vesuvius, and the view is breathtaking. I did a whole video on my Pompeii and wine experience. You got to check that out after this video, but definitely visit some local wineries. Outside of that winery, we also visited another one that was heading more towards Avellino, out on the countryside. Thoroughly enjoyed that one as well, and that was like more of a private tour, so that was cool. All the wines taste good, y'all. Y'all know I enjoy trying the wines, but there are also smaller wineries that you can go to that, you know, aren't going to have a lot of tourists, if you want that intimate family feel, or if you don't want to go to a winery, go to a wine bar. You know, there are several wine bars around here that you can go to, or you can just go to a bar. And when I say bar, I'm not talking about like to the club up bar that you're used to if you're coming from the States. But if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, but bar is also used interchangeably with cafes here in Italy. So sometimes you will see like bars advertised, but when you go in, they're selling like pastries and espressos and Aperol spritz or Campari spritzer. So it's not like a full-fledged like bar that we're used to back in the States, but they do serve some alcoholic beverages. So if you're not really trying to go to a winery, but you do want to kind of chill, sit and have some aperitivos, then definitely hop in and stop and go to one of the bars here in Naples. There are also just a ton of historical landmarks and places in the local Naples area, and you got to check it out. You know, I talked about the castle downtown, but you have Pompeii, so you can take tours there. When we went last year, it was only like 33 euro to go for Marcus and I, and of course Parker was not charged. So Herculaneum is also in this local area. I have not made it out there, but I've spoken to other people who have. That is a major historical landmark close to Naples in driving distance. So there's just a lot of history in this greater Naples area that when you think of other major Italian cities, i.e. Rome, with so much history in it, like sometimes you can forget like there's a lot of history here in the Naples area that, you know, you don't have to travel too far to go see that ancient Italian history. It's right here in your backyard. If you're like me and you didn't know much about Naples before you move out here or before you come out here, but when you think of Italy, your mind probably automatically goes to Rome. You can hop on a train and go to Rome in an hour. You can catch the bullet train and get to Rome in an hour, and I would highly recommend doing that for most people moving out here. Rome is like the first trip that you knock off your list because it's so close, it's so convenient. Rome was like the first place we traveled, period. When we started traveling, like once we got settled, once we kind of, you know, got our exit date to leave the Navy Lodge, it was like, okay, where are we going first? We're going to Rome. And we stayed there for a few days and it was really, really nice. Oh, love Rome. Rome is so beautiful and it's so nice. And then recently, if you all checked out that previous video, we took like a quick day trip to Rome, and we'll probably go back to Rome this summer. It's such a great city. It's a lot to do, a lot of history. It's very, very beautiful. A lot of people love to hike and love to be outdoors. And I have been doing some research and I have heard that there are a couple of hiking trails around here. I say a couple, it's probably more than a couple, but again, I've seen maybe 3 that are regular, like repeaters in the groups that I'm in. One of them is a lot of people will go and hike Mount Vesuvius. If you love to hike and that's your jam and all that, I would highly recommend doing it. It looks great. Y'all, my husband says I have like a Stuart Little complex where I'm like scared of everything. There may be some truth to that, but I don't want to be around Mount Vesuvius because it is definitely an active volcano. And you know, I say this, I may have the volcanoes mixed up because I mean, I was told a few weeks ago that, you know, there's multiple active volcanoes. So I don't even know if Vesuvius is the active one, but needless to say, if you don't know, now you know, there are active volcanoes here in Naples and they expect it to blow. When, we don't know, but it's been some years since the last eruption and it is very active. So I don't want to be around any volcanoes. I don't want to hike up any volcanoes. I don't want to be near them. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But if you are someone who's like, girl, you doing the most, like go on the hike. You go on the hike and you comment and let me know. But you can hike on Mount Vesuvius if that is something you're interested in. Aside from hiking Mount Vesuvius. There are also a couple of trails closer to the Amalfi Coast that a lot of people talk about. I think there's like a Trail of Gods and like there's a Trail of Lemons. I don't know. Those are the two trails that we plan on exploring and going to next weekend. So of course, I am going to bring you all with me and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that video. And you know, maybe it's something you're interested in. I have seen some people post like pictures, very few, and they look really, really beautiful. And again, like I said, the weather has started to break here. So I'm definitely ready to get out of the house and just soak up all of this Italian air and sunshine. Now, if you're a beach girly like me, then you're going to love living in Naples because there are a lot of beaches here. Now, I will say I've not been to the beaches here. I am a beach girl. Y'all know I'm from the 757, Virginia Beach to be exact. I do love going to the beach, but I have not gone to the beach here. I will say one of the reasons why I have not gone to the beach here is because the beaches are different. Like, I'm used to sand, like hot sand, but nice warm sand. And from what I've seen, like the beaches here are more like, they're not like sandy beaches. The ones I've seen are more like rocky beaches. Some of the beaches that I have seen are, I saw one, I think the area is Chiarma. I'm butchering these names, so my apologies, y'all. Pozzuoli. And when we went to Sorrento, that is like a popular, you think the Amalfi Coast, people come from all over the world to go to the beaches off the Amalfi Coast, and they have a lot of beach clubs. So I have seen some of the beach clubs and places that people go to there, and all of the beaches, they are definitely not what I'm used to as far as beaches in regards to the sand. But I do want to be intentional this summer about going to the beach. I definitely want to go and do a beach day and just chill and be in the water. So that is something that I am gonna plan to do this summer, so you're not gonna wanna miss that. My last recommendation for when you are coming to Naples, Italy, whether you're visiting or whether you are going to be moving out here, especially if you're gonna be moving out here, go to Pozzuoli. Go to Pozzuoli. Pozzuoli is super, super beautiful. I was literally in Pozzuoli like last week. And man, every time I go to Pozzuoli, I am like, if it wasn't for just kind of the way our life is set up with Parker School and where we work, I would have pushed to move to Pozzuoli because Pozzuoli is just so beautiful. In my opinion, like when you first get to Naples, whatever thought that you have of what Italy is supposed to look like, it's not going to look like that when you first get to Naples. I'm sorry, no offense. I love Naples, but Naples can be a sight for sore eyes at times. But going to Pozzuoli, that is like the part of Naples that kind of makes you think of like that Italian daydream. It's like Pozzuoli is really, really beautiful. Pozzuoli has beaches. Pozzuoli has like historical landmarks there. Pozzuoli has a ton of restaurants and just things to do. Pozzuoli is just truly, truly beautiful. And I've also mentioned it in a lot of my videos, but a lot of people, when they come out here to Naples, they move to Pozzuoli. They move to Pozzuoli, and I don't blame them. You can get a nice big house out there in Pozzuoli, and Pozzuoli is just truly beautiful. Thank you all so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it and if you found it helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. If you are a spouse living in the Naples area, or you were once a spouse that lived in the Naples area and you have some recommendations for the new spouses that are about to move out here, make sure you comment below. If you're a tourist and you have specific questions, comment below, y'all. Thank you all again for watching, and as